पहले ही कहा कि शाम हो जाएगी if I talk about. So before going ahead, I would like to invite our guiding force, who doesn't need any other introduction, founder and CEO of Unique Academy and Unique Global Education, Mr. Ashish Parekh. Yeah, sure.
Yes, good morning. I think when we take blessings from our parents, नहीं पहले मुझे बताओ, when we greet someone, क्या positive energy should flow? When we take blessings from our parents, Gurudev, teachers, it may not be visible, but it carries immense power and energy. So let's say it loudly one more time. Good morning. Now I can feel the energy. I think, today definitely we have to hear from Mr. Sunil Deshmukh. Journey of a boy who has started, from a small village in Maharashtra to be a global leader. He has taken his education from Marathi medium. He graduated from Marathi medium and became top-notch executives in multinational companies. It's truly an incredible journey. And today we are very fortunate to have, privileged to have Sunil with us. Huge round of applause for him. I think online वाले बच्चे भी respond करेंगे. It's been a long time, I'm taking this session. बहुत टाइम हो गया, मैंने अब तक लेक्चर्स नहीं लिए हैं. Let me ask you one question. During school time, we've been working hard, we are studying hard, and we even also face, scolding from our parents and teachers for our studies. Even today, in professional courses, we are studying for 15 hours, 20 hours throughout the day. For what sake? Why? हम क्यों इतना पढ़ रहे हैं? For what sake? दिमाग में क्वेश्चन तो आता होगा कि नहीं आता होगा कभी भी? मतलब इतनी पढ़ाई किसके लिए? Just to get a good corporate job? Am I correct or wrong? Hope you connect my point, what I mean to say. And now you all believe that we are in the era of artificial intelligence. And with this technological innovation, degree is not sufficient enough. Along with degree, now corporates, employers, they want something different from you, something that machines can't do. Am I correct? Leadership, machines can't do. Creativity, machines can't do. Adaptability, machines can't do. Human judgment, machines can't do. Am I correct, Sunil? And that's where today's topic is all about. True leadership. Without leaders, companies don't want followers, companies want leaders. And leadership has, many parameters, but I personally believe true leader has trust, right guidance, and integrity. Your teacher carries a lot of trust. Yes or no? The teachers who's teaching you carries a lot of trust. You trust on them. You trust on their guidance. You trust on their integrity. They are true leaders. They create your futures. And I think definitely I'm not going to take much of your time, and without wasting any more time, let me invite Sunil to share his thoughts on leadership. Today, we all are here to listen from him, from his experience. And I personally believe, we are doing this kind of, this is the second session, correct, Sunil? I think we did one session earlier also. And this is the second session, and believe me or not, this is once in a lifetime opportunity to hear from him. This gentleman is a very busy gentleman. He's not taking sessions only in India, he's taking sessions across the world. I was just talking to him and he said, I think, I don't know, whenever I call him, always, first instance, he always say, yes, Ashish, I'm coming. And truly, he's a gentleman, and I really appreciate the way, you always, say yes. And I think, again, huge round of applause for him to invite on the podium. Please come. It's over to you. It's a small place, so you just have to accommodate accordingly. Yeah, Shelby, we can. Sure. Here you go. I can. Goodness. Here you go.
So, before we go forward, I would request you to felicitate, sir.
Oh, sure.
Yes. A huge round of applause, guys.
इसको अंदर डालो मैं? Yes. Just put it inside.
You can put it inside your belt also.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Hello. Yeah. Great. Think your phone. Ashish, your phones. I kept my phone there. Okay, can you hear me? Great. Good morning. So thank you very much for inviting me. And whenever I see young students, and as Aditya rightly said, I'm the youngest person here, right? Yeah. Oh, he's younger than me. Only he has to wear the cap. Oh, sorry. So I'm sorry. Yeah. So I always get excited, encouraged when I see students like you, and particularly in the city of Pune. When I come here or when he invited me, I felt very happy because I started my life, professional life in the same city. You want me to tell you how many years back? Only 40 years back. I was sitting like you in a classroom in Pune, all the way from a very small town, very scared boy, very shy boy, very introverted boy, not able to speak a single word of English, single sentence of English. But I came with a lot of big dreams, and people thought I'm a fluke in the life. What has happened is, as rightly said by Ashish, I did BCom in Marathi medium, all the way from schooling to college I studied accounting in Marathi medium. I studied everything in Marathi medium. And accidentally, I stood first in the university in my BCom examination. Of course, that was a good accident to happen to me. But problem is, the society does not think like that because I was never a brilliant, smart student. My percentages in 10th and 12th were around 55%, 60%, like that. And suddenly I stood first. So that was a big shock to the world at large, means my society, my friends. And people started thinking, इसने तो copy किया होगा boss, first आ गया, ये तो fluke है, ये lucky था बोल के आ गया, all those type of things people talk. But that was the good thing happened to me. I decided that I will prove to all these people who are talking about me, even though it's a fluke, it's a good fluke to happen to me. And I will prove that this fluke is going to do something big for me. I started dreaming big, I started thinking big and all those things. And that's where we saw my video. It's a famous quote by Rumi. Rumi is a Persian poet who says that, yesterday I was clever, I wanted to change the world. Yesterday I was clever, I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, I want to change myself. Right? The story behind this quote is, I read this quote when I was very young, right? And I was always believing that मेरे को जाके पूरी दुनिया change करनी है. You know, we have those when you are growing up, when you are a young boy, मेरे को मेरे देश के लिए ये करना है, all those type of things. Then I realized if I have to change the world, I have to change myself first. And education is the first step in that. And all of you have taken the right step to come and do a professional education. So congratulations to all of you for that. Okay. I always believed that flukes, मेरे साथ जो fluke हुआ था, मैं BCom में first आया, flukes can always lead you to be a prepared person next time. When you get something by fluke, next time you go to do something else, you will be prepared, very well prepared, because you don't want people to say that it has happened by way of fluke. Other very important thing which I always, and I have written a book, he mentioned about my book. My book is available here, I have brought books, okay. So book is available here, you can buy the book, English book, version book, Marathi book. But I came from a very lower middle class family. My father was a school teacher in a government Jilla Parishad high school, you know, and had not seen money at all. Even though my name is Deshmukh, we had no Deshmukhi, right? In Maharashtra, Deshmukh is a big thing, but I was not. And so poverty, and I'm using this very carefully, the word poverty is not bad. Do not assume that if you don't have money means there is a big problem with you. No, absolutely not. I believe that poverty empowers you to take powerful decisions. Poverty empowers you to take powerful decisions, and I have taken powerful decisions because I had no money. Nothing to lose, right? नंगे तो खुदा भी डरता है, कुछ नहीं है मेरे पास, क्या फर्क पड़ने वाला है, right? And I also believe that I am fortunate that I was born in a poor family and I was born in a small town because I had big dreams. If I am born in Bombay, maybe I might not have seen the big dreams because I was born in a small town and born in a poor family. I always had a very, very big dreams and I still have. It's not that मेरा काम हो गया अभी तो मैं global chairman बन गया अभी क्या है? No. I still have dreams. I was talking to him that every time I dream and I ensure that I work towards dream. Now, if you want to become something in the life, and we all want to become wealthy and rich, anyone here does not want to become rich in a good sense. You all want to earn good money, you all want to have a good house, good Apple phone, right? A good car to drive and all those things. But if you want to become a rich, if you want to become a millionaire or a billionaire, whatever you want to be, it's not easy, right? You don't see millionaires and billionaires when you walk on the road, right? I mean, you can see very few of them. Someone is driving in a BMW, you say, साले ने बहुत पैसा बनाया है, we गाली देते हैं, right? But that's okay. It's nothing wrong. I used to do the same thing. But then I realized we also need to ask one question to ourselves. Why are we doubting the capability of that person to earn the money? He must have done something good. He must have done some very hard work. He must be a good leader or something would have happened, right? Otherwise, how can you make the money? How can you become a millionaire or a wealthy man? Easy option is your father is rich, you are rich, right? Right? You have the legacy. For example, I always give the example of Anil Ambani and Mukesh Ambani, right? Born to the rich father. One brother is where and one brother is where. So money does not necessarily make you rich. You think you are rich. Anil Ambani and Mukesh Ambani were born to Dhirubhai Ambani. Both had same facilities, money, education, everything whatever you think of, you see where is one brother and where is one brother. There is a income tax notice, there is a whatever legal action happening on one brother, and one brother is doing fantastically. So money is not the only best way to grow in the life. Second way to become rich is marry to a rich girl. Right? You have to work towards that. And provided that your father-in-law is ready to give you that money, right? That's also important. Nowadays, father-in-laws are very smart. They don't want to give money to the son-in-law. Third way to become rich is KBC khelne ko jao, right? Go take a lottery ticket and go and play KBC. But how many of you will get a chance? What is the probability of getting a lottery ticket or getting a KBC seat and earning 1 crore? Very, very less, right? So what is left with you if you want to become rich, if you want to become a wealthy person? Leadership is the route to become a wealthy person. And when I say wealthy, I am not only saying monetarily wealthy, I will talk philosophically also. Your value system, your life system, your ability to influence people, and so many other things. So if you want to become rich, I'll tell you one quote again, a very interesting quote. To achieve something that you have never achieved before, to achieve something that you have never achieved before, you must become someone you have never been before. And this is not my quote. Don't worry, I have not prepared this. This is a quote by a guy called Les Brown. So basically, if you want to do something, you want to become something big, you have to give up a lot of wrong things what you were doing, or laziness, right? We are all lazy, born lazy. Human beings love status quo. We want to enjoy the life as it is basis. We don't want uncertainty. We don't want to take risk. But if you don't take the risk, how can you become a leader? So the route to leadership goes through lot of difficulties. And education is one of the catalysts. Professional education is one of the catalysts in becoming the leader. And rightly said by Ashish, if you want to become a good professional in today's world, all companies want leaders, because technology is going to do half the job, AI and all those things are going to do that. Now, I always told and thought that leadership is only for few people. And this was my belief, because I was born in a small family, poor family. I have only seen the political leaders, right? And I still remember a joke. I remember, I think 25 years back, I have telephoned my father and I told him that I have been appointed on a board of a company as a director. I was very happy that director ki position mili hai boss. So my father, being a poor school teacher and not seen the world and corporate world, so he told me, be careful. Most of the directors I have seen in my life in a sugar factory, they are all corrupt. So message was that you got a position of directorship which is very good, but do not become someone like them. You have to be very loyal, honest director. So that is very important as far as leadership is concerned or directorship is concerned. Now, when you become the leader, we will go to the stages of becoming a leader. How can you become a leader? But if you become a leader, if you become a rich and you become a leader, what can happen to you? One is you will create freedom for yourself. See, we all want freedom, right? Everyone wants freedom. You want freedom from examination, right? I want freedom from my wife, which is difficult. So I jokingly tell my friends, I'm a freedom fighter. I'm still fighting for the freedom from my wife, right? So we all want freedom, but a millionaire, a rich man, and a leader, he can choose the freedom. Like, for example, Ashish called me here to teach. I had a freedom to say no to him. But that freedom comes after a lot of time. But because anything to do with the students, I never say no to anybody in my life. Because my life is changed because of this, and my father being teacher, and now I have become a teacher. I teach at many places, IIMs and all those things. I never say no to the students. So my freedom is to choose to say yes and no. Like, I had a coaching assignment today. When he called me, there was a coaching assignment. I cancelled the coaching assignment because the type of happiness I get by talking to you people, let's say you are 100 and many of you are on online, but coaching one person as a leader and talking to thousands of you, it's a different happiness. So as a leader and as a wealthy man, you can choose your freedom. It comes after a lot of time. Second thing is you can influence the people. A leader's most important job is to influence the people, influence the followers. And I always say that, and I have written book also for that. If I can inspire one student in this class by end of the day today when I finish my session, my job is done. There is no guarantee that every single person will get inspired and influenced by me, and I don't expect that. Every human being is different. But even one person get inspired, my job is done. So I have influenced one person positively to do something good in the life. Maybe to pass the examination, to become a leader, to follow my footsteps, to read my book and change your life. That's the influence a rich man and an influential leader can do that. Yes or no? Modi ji created a huge influence in India, right? In the world, right? He's not a rich man, but he's a leader. I'm giving a political example. Compare Mr. Manmohan Singh. Manmohan Singh was very well educated leader, but unfortunately, he was not able to create influence in the world. Why? There's so many things we'll see under leadership. The third thing a leader can do and create is an impact in the society or impact in the people, community, staff, employees. Impact is a big thing. And nowadays I gave a lecture somewhere last week in Bangalore, and they asked me, what's the future role of finance professionals? So I told them the future role of finance professional is not only to look at the return on investment, which is a very famous term, right? Return on investment, but to look at a return on impact. How much impact we as a leader are creating in the society. For example, how much impact Ashish is creating by educating all of you. Of course, he's charging you fees, that's okay. Nothing is free in the world today. But the commitment and dedication which he is showing, his faculty is showing, and all Aditya and all those people who I know, they are creating impact in your life, and that's a positive impact. Any one of you are having a negative impact of these people, please raise your hand. So he is not aware, he's aware, but I'm saying he's not philosophically aware that he's creating an impact in changing the society positively. Now, that impact is very, very important. I will tell you a story. When I was like you, and I was studying my BCom classes, I was not very good in accounting, debit, credit, tally, and all those things. No, this is a fact. I'll tell you that. You listen to the story and then laugh, okay? So I went to a private tuition classes. So I come from a place called Nanded. Nanded is a small town in Maharashtra district. So I was in Nanded. So there was only one commerce coaching classes teaching accounting in the small town. So I went to a professor like Ashish. He luckily used to look like Ashish only. So, and he was young boy at that time. The difference between my age and his age was only 10 years. So he was young. And his name was Mr. Darak, Kishan Darak. He was fantastic in accounting. He was one of the kida in tallying the books and accounts and all those things, but never became a chartered accountant, cost accountant or anything, okay? So I went to Mr. Darak and I said, Darak sir, mujhe accounting padhana mujhe nahi aati hai. He looked at me. He said, मेरे को नहीं लगता है तेरे को accounting आएगा. Typical Hindi conversation. I said, sir, इसीलिए तो आपके पास आया हूँ ना. So but my problem was I had no money to pay him the fees. I wanted him to teach me free of cost. That was very important, which I was hesitant to talk to him, right? But being a Marwadi, he was very clear, uski fees to deni hai. So we started discussing and then slowly I started, sir, लेकिन मेरे पास पैसा नहीं है sir. फीस के लिए पैसा नहीं है. कुछ देखो ना क्या करना है क्या नहीं. He's a good guy. He said, Sunil, तू एक काम कर, तू आ जा. तो मेरे को 1 साल के बाद फीस दे, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. And I said, yes, thank you. I am happy. I will pay you the fees. And that's how I started studying accounting with him. And eventually, I was the best accountant in the city in the sense of tallying, solving the equations. And of course, I stood first in the university. So a lot of credit goes to Mr. Darak for my getting first in the BCom examination also. And I have publicly accepted that. I always believe that if someone has helped you in the life, respect that help and openly accept that help. Never hesitate, ये तो मेरा है, उसने क्या किया मेरे लिए. You have to give back in the life always. And I have given in my books how many people have helped me in my life. I have mentors, multiple mentors. सबका नाम लिखा है मैंने. I'll tell you a small story. Before completing my BCom examination, I got a job in a bank on the basis of 12th. उस time पे 12th के basis पे HSC पे you write a banking services recruitment board exam and I passed. I got a job. So when I was in second year of examination, means I appeared for second year BCom examination. During the holidays, I got a job. So I joined a bank called United Western Bank. Now it is, I don't know what's that bank, acquired by someone. Anyway. And they sent me to a border town of Maharashtra and Karnataka called Udgir. I don't know how many of you heard this name, Udgir. A very small border town, not known to anyone. They sent me there as a clerk in the bank. Started working as a clerk on the salary of 350 rupees per month. Right? This is in the year 1983. Okay? I was very happy in a bank job. 350 rupees is a big thing. I have to pay Mr. Darak sir his fees. हो गया काम मेरा एक महीने के सैलरी में पूरा फीस खत्म कर देगा मैं. Parents were happy and you know a school teacher's son getting a job in the bank means something big has happened to me in the family, society, relatives, and everyone thought that I will get married now. You know that was the assumption that time. Bank में job लग गया मतलब marriage कर दो खत्म. So what has happened during these holidays? My second year exam results declared, and I got an inland letter. These people may not know the inland letter. Inland letter, anyone knows? No. Okay, there's a letter written by my father, sent to me by post, saying that you again stood first in the second year of the BCom examination. So I got that letter and read it in the bank. It was a Friday afternoon. Today is a Friday afternoon. Wow. Yes, still afternoon. I went outside, got some sweets, peda khate hai na. I got some box of peda and started giving to everyone in the bank. So everyone started asking, they thought I got married, I got engaged, sorry. So you know how people's perception changed. So eventually I went to my bank manager's cabin. There was a cabin, glass cabin. So I walked in and he was sitting here. And I gave him the sweet, the peda. He said, Sunil, क्या है ये? तो सर ऐसे ऐसा हुआ है कि मेरा बीकॉम का एग्जाम रिजल्ट लग गया सेकंड ईयर का एंड आई स्टूड फर्स्ट. So he asked me one question which has changed my entire life and which is written in my book very openly. He asked me a question. You stood first in the university in BCom second year examination. That's why you're distributing the pedas. I said, yes. Then what the hell you are doing here? That was one question he asked me. What are you doing here? He didn't use the word hell that I added later on. Of course, he asked me in Marathi, "Tu ita काय करतोयस?" You know, "Tu ita काय करतोयस?" He was like, there was an instruction in that you are wasting your life in the bank, right? And that question on that Friday afternoon changed my life. I came home, I started thinking, ये question इसने मुझे क्यों पूछा? What's the? I started reflecting upon. Next day was a Saturday, half day in the bank. Closed the bank counter at 12 o'clock. Got the SD bus, Lal Pari, whatever you call nowadays. Right? Went to my parents' place and I told my dad, I want to resign from banking job. Now this was the first risk I have taken in my life, a confirmed job in the bank to resign. Now, why I'm telling you this is leadership. How a leader need to take the risk. This was my first experiment with leadership or a risk taking, for example. So my father said, why you want to change your job? I said, आपने लेटर भेजा मैं फर्स्ट आया अभी मेरे को थर्ड ईयर में भी फर्स्ट आने का है. तो my father asked me one question, what is the guarantee you will come first again? He's a school teacher, right? He said, what is the guarantee you will stood first again? And he said, if you come back and you leave the bank job and you didn't get number 1 rank, what will happen, you know? Everyone will laugh at you. बैंक का जॉब छोड़ के आया और फर्स्ट भी नहीं आया, लाइफ वेस्ट कर रहा है. Went to my mother as usual, loving mother. You have any problem, please come home. I'm happy you are coming home, you know, खाने में, you know, everything. So anyway, I left the job. So 1 year I studied and I stood first again in third year, and entire BCom I stood first in the university. Now what I'm telling you here, the story is perseverance, resilience, risk-taking capacity. You have to commit to yourself that if I am taking some decision, I will ensure I'll stick to it and I will prove it my decision was wrong. My decision was right, not wrong, sorry. And in management, we many times say that as a leader, you have to take very tough decisions. And when you take those decisions, many times you do not know what will be the final outcome, but you have to take those decisions. So that is the first lesson I learned in my life of a leadership, and which obviously ensured me that in future, it created a huge success into my life. And of course, I progressed very well. Now, to be a good leader, it's very, and we are not talking about political leadership by any way here. Political leadership is nothing to do with all of us here. That's a different cup of tea, and I don't want you to, I can discuss that also. I mentor even some of the political party leaders nowadays in a different way, but management point of view. So if you want to be a rich man and you want to be a leader, or to become a millionaire, you want to become a leader, or the path of leadership to become rich, what you need to do, or what are the ordinary people need to do become the good leader? See, we are all ordinary. I'm not saying you are extraordinary. I am ordinary still. You are all extraordinary. But if you want to become super extraordinary, to become a leader, what are the requirements you should do? In addition to your professional degree examination, there are so many things you need to do. First is, you need to take initiative. You know, taking initiative, for example, there is some project happening, or let's say this event was declared by your academy. You need to take initiative. Yes, I am interested in taking initiative. I will do this work, I will do this work, I will do that, whatever. So you have to move ahead and take the initiative. You cannot be only sitting on the back bench, ab pani mein kudi maro, main kapde sambhalta hu. Right? No. A leader will never do that. A leader will take the risk. A leader will jump in the water along with you. So take initiative always, because there is a difference between explicit knowledge and implicit knowledge. Do you know what is explicit knowledge and implicit knowledge? So if you pass, let us say, your BCom examination, or your CA, ICAA, CPA, CMA, whatever it is there, that is all explicit knowledge. You are studying the books, you are studying the program, you are writing the examination, and you are passing the examination. So that is explicit knowledge. What I am giving to you right now, experience sharing, is an implicit knowledge. We all learn by observation, by implicit knowledge, by discussion. And that's why we always say that, no, our companies say that we want a person with the experience. Right? They don't want person only with a theoretical knowledge. They want person with experience. So you have to learn from the people, and for that you need to take initiative. Implicit knowledge only comes when you talk to people, when you meet people, ask them questions. Curiosity is very, very important. If you don't ask the question, you are wasting your life, I'm telling you. And question can be anything. The worst question is not to ask a question. You have to always ask the question. If you don't ask the question, I'm telling you, you are going to get lost in the jungle, right? Even if you want to find out a way out, you have to ask the question, right? Not the Google, what do you call that, GPRS nowadays, Google Maps. Google Maps also shows you the wrong path many times, and many accidents have happened. So you should know how to talk, how to ask the question. Second thing is, take the risk. Even if you know you may fail, take the risk. And in my book, I have written there around 15, 16 chapters. 10 times in my life I failed. It's not every time. Failed means not failed in examination, failed in the career, failed in taking the decisions. But every single decision helped me to take a better decision next time. Learn continuously. You have to learn lifelong. I'm telling you, this is only a beginning of your life. Like a programmer in IT or data scientist, they have to learn every 6 months because it becomes obsolete. You also have to learn every month, every year if you want to become successful in life. A leader never stops learning. And I always preach this, and I'm using the word preach very carefully. Save your money for your self-skill development or skill enhancement. Save your holidays for your knowledge development and enhancement. I still do that. I still save money. Whatever I earn, 30%, 20% I keep aside for my education. I don't need any education now, technically, because I don't need it. But that doesn't mean that if I have to be smart enough to talk to you people, I need to have education. So I still go to universities, colleges for teaching as well as educating myself, learning also. So remember this mantra, save money for your lifelong education, not for buying only iPhone or nice car or a nice laptop, and save your holidays. Very, very important. Time commitment is very important. You need to have a problem solving mindset. Whenever the problem comes to you, or whenever issue comes to you, you need to decide, how am I going to solve these problems? Don't run away from the problem. Many times, "Chhodna yaar, wo karega, main kyun karu?" Someone will do it, or I will see how it was solved previously. ये क्वेश्चन एग्जाम में आने वाला ही नहीं है, मुझे मालूम है. And then we don't do it. And what happens when you go to exam? Same question comes, and then you start blaming yourself, right? Very, very important. In today's world, you have to work in teams. Individual contributor versus team contributor is a concept nowadays. Every single company, organization you go and start working, they will have teams form, finance team, IT team, ERP team, supply chain team. So you have to work with the people. So you need to understand how to work with the people. You cannot say, I am good in my work, I don't care what happens here and there. So team working is very, very important if you want to be a good leader. Networking. How many of you know what is networking? Yes. Tell me, what is networking? Can't hear him. Yeah, connected to other people, yes. Now, networking is the most difficult art, science, and commerce. No one will teach you. Anyone teaches you networking? No. You have to develop on your own. So, a good leader needs to have a good network. And I very proudly call it, your network is your net worth. You know what is net worth? You're all finance students, right? So your network is your net worth. And I made a comment last month when I launched my book, is that like in a wealth management, there is a concept of HNI and UHNI, ultra high net worth people and high net worth people. I look for people who have ultra high network and high network people. Connect with the people who has got HNI and UHNI in my way. Always remember that your network will give you opportunities, leadership opportunities, your new job, your next promotion will come from network, not through your interviews and all those type of things. So how do you create the network? A leader's job. So now you are starting your career. How many of you know each other in this class? Very few, right? You always sit next to your friend. Have you tried sitting a person not known to you? No. That's the problem in networking. We always want to be comfortable with someone. अरे ये मेरे घर के बाजू में रहता है, मैं इसके पास में बैठूंगी आज. अरे ये ना मेरे को बाइक पे लिफ्ट देता है, मैं इसके पास बैठूंगा आज. If you want to become a good networker, break all those things. Sit every day with a new person. Sit every day with a new person. Ask them what's your name, what you do, from where you come, what's your problem, how can I help you? And that network will help you lifelong. Why people go and do MBA in Harvard and Stanford and Oxford and all those things? Not for education. They're all already highly educated people. They create a network there. I went to Oxford for my advanced leadership management program. I created a global network. I have got now people known to me in 100 countries. They were my classmates and they all help each other. So same thing, you have to, as a leader, you have to create your networking. Other very important thing along with the networking is personal visibility. How many people know you? Are you a brand, personal branding? Now, these things are not very important. That's what you think. But in the global world, in the corporate world, if you want to get noticed, if your work needs to get noticed, you need to have a visibility. You need to have your personal brand. I'm not saying you advertise on TV, hey, I am so and so. No. But how do you get identified? By your clothing, how you talk, how you behave, by your kindness, by your strictness, or the way you speak. So you have to create a personal brand. How many of you have a LinkedIn account? Oh, big problem. Hardly 10%, 15%. Slowly. How many of you are active on LinkedIn? 5, 6 people, 7, 10 people. See, in a class of roughly 100. So you, I'm intentionally not asking that because I'm not active there. So problem is, you have tools to do the network. When I started my life, there were no tools. There was no Instagram, there was no Facebook, there was no LinkedIn, there was nothing. So I have to go and meet people personally. I have to travel on a bicycle all the way to meet them, and then he may or may not meet you. You can't, and I never had a mobile phone also, right? Very difficult. Now you've got a ready-made platforms, start using those platforms. Create yourself as a brand, personal brand. Define you, who you are, who you want to be. When you go for a function, what type of clothes you want to wear. When you meet the people, how you want to talk to them. Your public speaking, your ability to speak in front of the public and team is very, very important. Other than this, very important is, which is what will define your life, is goal setting. Goal setting, you know what is goal setting? Setting your goals. So how many of you have set the goals that you will pass whatever program you are studying, CA, ICWA, CMA, CPA, in which year and which month? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have set a goal that you will complete your professional course in the year so and so and the month so and so, right? I see only 5 to 6 hands being raised, right? I want all of you to set the goal today when you go home that I will complete my program within 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, whatever time is there. I'm not telling you what time. But if you do not have a goal, you will not do it. And I'm telling you, I'm also a psychologist now. If you commit to yourself that I want to achieve something within a given period of time, and your goals must be SMART. You know SMART principle? Specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, time bound, SMART. So goal should be set in such a way that it is achievable, it's very specific, and it is reasonable and time bound. And that's why I said time bound, very important. So when I came to Pune for the first time, like you guys, I used to drive a bicycle, and I used to go to Wadia College for my ICWA classes. I had a small bicycle, and in the bicycle there was a stand, carrier, what do you call carrier. On the carrier, I used to put my notebook like this, right, on the front, and my goals were written on here. So every day when I will go to the class or the college for my ICWA, and every evening when I come back, continuously I will read these goals on a piece of paper. By default, I have to read it, right? सामने तो वही है. अब उस जमाने में ट्रैफिक नहीं हुआ करता था. It was easy to drive, right? Bicycle. So your goal setting is very, very important. Create goals. Do not leave it unturned. If you do not create the goals, if you do not create the specific goals, you will never achieve in the life what you want to do. I still do my goal setting every year, and they are broken down on quarterly basis, monthly basis. I still decide what education I want to get this year, how much money I want to spend on what else I want to do, and how I want to become a good husband. I write that as also a goal, right? How I want to become a good father, that's also my goal. How I behave nicely with my boys, my sons. So you should have the goals, professional goals, personal goals, financial goals. My first financial goal was I should get a job which will give me 3,000 rupees as a salary per month. And of course, pass my ICWA exam and all those things. So what happened? Out of 4 goals, I achieved 3 goals within the time bound. But I never got my first salary as 3,000 rupees. It took me 3 years to get to there. But it doesn't mean that I didn't achieve it. Of course, there are so many other things. So you create your goal setting is very, very important. Time management is very important. How many of you do the time management? 1, 2, very few. How many of you do your daily to-do list? आज मेरे को क्या काम करने का है? Not bad, but still very less, 25% of the class. You have to do your to-do list. Unless you put it in a time management mechanism, and there is a Eisenhower matrix. If you are interested, go to Google, search Eisenhower matrix of time management. So what is important, what is urgent, how you classify your work, that's very, very important. You need to learn time management. Unfortunately, no one will teach you time management in neither in the schools nor in the colleges. It's a big problem. So you need to have time management. How many of you have a mentors? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 तो फैकल्टी आप तो आपको छोड़ देता हूं मैं, ठीक है? So only 3 or 4 students have mentors. Do you think it's good or bad? Bad, because you do not have a platform, you do not have a person in your life with whom you can go and talk openly, freely, ask them the questions, and they can guide you. right? Finding a mentor, and listen very carefully, finding a right mentor is not speed dating. Do you understand speed dating? Am I talking your language or my language now? Speed dating. Dating मालूम है ना? अरे हाँ ना बोलो कुछ तो बोलो है ना यार. करते हो नहीं मुझे मालूम नहीं लेकिन हाँ So it is not speed dating. सिंगापुर में speed dating होता है. उन लोगों के पास टाइम नहीं है बीवी ढूंढने के लिए या पार्टनर ढूंढने के लिए, तो ऐसे चेयर लगाते हैं, अपन संगीत कुर्सी खेलते हैं ना ऐसा, और स्टॉप वॉच लाते हैं. एंड दिस इज फैक्ट, आई हैव सीन दैट. And everyone is given 5 minutes and the girls and boys keep changing. And then within that 5 minutes, you have to decide whether you like that. That's life. So finding a mentor is not speed dating. You have to take efforts to identify a right person in your life, go and talk to him. And once a mentor, always a mentor. Always try to find out that this mentor is going to be useful to you, helpful to you or not. I'm saying your time is still not gone. Start finding, identifying a mentor to yourself. We should have one session on mentoring. Only what is mentoring? Why we need mentoring? We had a Guru Shishya Parampara in our India ke history mein. We had a Guru Shishya Parampara, right? We had a Guru and we had Shishya. Multiple stories are there. We have forgotten all those things. So mentoring is a revised modern format of Guru Shishya Parampara, you can say. I had 5 mentors. 5 mentors. Now I have 6th one also, my philosophical mentor. But what I'm saying is, if you do not have a right person in your life to guide you, and your mentor cannot be your father, cannot be your wife, cannot be your brother, cannot be your sister, generally I'm saying, he or she should be a neutral person. Finding a mentor is very important. I'm telling you, you are way, way behind the world if you have not found out a mentor. There are multiple websites, there are multiple good institutes who offer a free mentoring, right? So think on that. Do that. As a good leader will always have a good mentor. My first mentor, when I was in a board meeting of Foster's Beer, Australian company, I was a chief financial officer, and I presented to the board as a CFO the financial numbers, and I came out and I was waiting like on the side. One director of my board, independent director in my board, he said, Sunil, I want to talk to you. So I was very scared. Have I made any mistake in my presentation? My numbers are not tallying. You know, typically we think like that. So I went to him. I said, sir, I'm sorry if I made any mistake. He said, no, I want to talk to you. So I said, bas, now, no, you come to my office. So I was more scared. Why this guy is like calling me to his office, right? So I went to his office. And he showed me, and this is a real story. He gave me a Swiss knife. How many of you have seen the Swiss knife? Very few. So Swiss knife, you can keep opening the Swiss knife. There are at least 1, 2, 3, 4, like 10, 15 knives come out. You can open the bottle opener, you can cut it, you know. So a Swiss knife have multiple openings. So he gave me the Swiss knife, and this is a real story. He gave me the Swiss knife, and in my life, I was not knowing what is Swiss knife. He showed it to me and he kept it in front of me. He said, open. So मैंने एक खोला, चाकू है, बस मैं रुक गया. He said, one more time. So I kept on doing. Eventually I opened 15. So he was a director in a Swiss company. So obviously it's a very big shot. So when I opened the Swiss knife, he told me that, Sunil, your personality needs to be like the Swiss knife. You have multiple angles in your life you are not aware of. Sir, आप क्या बोल रहे हैं मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. And that time I was already a chief financial officer of a multinational company in Mumbai. I used to sponsor Australian cricket team at that level when I was one of the highest paid CFO in Bombay that time, right? And ये मेरे को बोल रहा है तो I said, sir, please, अभी curiosity बहुत बढ़ रही है, मेरे को बताओ. So he told me that you have some skills which are uncommon in a chief financial officer. So I took it negatively. मेरे को लगा मेरे को गाली दे रहा है ये. Right? He said, no, you have some skills which are not very common in CFOs of the world. It means that you have to pursue further. I was still confused. Then he said, you have leadership skills in you. And you need to become a leader. Don't stop at a chief financial officer. And this was my first mentor in my life. And all credit goes to this man. At the age of 34, I think I met him. It was not planned. no one told me in my life to have a mentor like I'm telling you, right? He just walked into my life and he became my lifelong mentor. And he made me to think that I can become a chief executive officer or a managing director or a leader of an organization. So mentor will throw light to you, will show you light at the end of the tunnel, will help you. But you need to find a right mentor. So very important to have a right mentor. We discussed time management. Very, very important is you must dream big. You must have vision in the life, right? How many of you do the visualization? How many of you have seen the dream that you have become a chartered accountant, CPA, CMA, office में बैठे air condition, audit partner के साथ? See, some people have, right? At least 10-15%. Visualization is a big technique, is a great technique. I still, when I was coming here in the class, in my car, I was visualizing what type of classroom would be there, what type of question the students will ask to me. Because I have given lectures all over the world, right? I have given lectures in front of 5,000 people, right? So I was visualizing ये क्या होगा, ये किस type के लड़के होंगे, क्या नहीं. Visualization is very important. You can visualize every day morning when you get up first time in the morning कि मैं कौन था, मुझे क्या बनना है, मुझे कहाँ जाना है. You know, dream big, but only don't dream big. Start working on ensuring that those dreams come true into your life. So how are we on time, Ashish? We are almost there. So overall, what I would say that if you want to be successful in life, leadership is the route to become successful. One very important thing, as a leadership, you can change the lives of the people also, positively, effectively, creating the impact, which is a big thing. The type of happiness you will get when you help the people to change their life is not, it cannot be measured in the monetary terms. Like when I change the lives of the people, when one student comes and says to me, sir, I got a message yesterday, one student from Kerala, she sent me a message, and I don't even remember when I met this girl, very smart young girl. He said, you came to Kochi 1.5 years back, and I gave a lecture like this in the academy there. And she said, today I have passed CMA only because of you. She sent a message to me in a LinkedIn. I said, oh, who is this girl? And she openly acknowledged that this is all because of you that I decided to create my vision board. I decided to start visualizing that I will pass my CMA, and this is all. She was putting too much on me, whereas she has done the hard work. So you have to decide your life, what you want to become, how do you want to become, where you want to go in life. I'm telling you, you can change your life. Not your parents, not your friends, not your professors. You are the sole person who can change your life. And I have decided to change my life at a young age. Of course, I had different problems in my life, but who is stopping you to change your life? Plan your life, decide everything, do the goal setting, act on that, find the right mentor. Of course, you have to do hard work. Nothing comes easy in the life, I'm telling you. Lazy people very rarely become successful. I'm not saying they don't become, but so this is where I will stop, and all the best to you. Reach out to me, connect me on LinkedIn, ask me questions. I'm telling you, I have come back. I lived in 5 countries in the world. I have come back to India only to give back to my student community, particularly students who cannot achieve their dreams. My life is completely devoted to for that purpose. So I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Yeah, sure.
Yes, students, if you have some questions, please raise your hand.
My question is regarding. Should I? In India, still many students and parents prioritize the traditional degree pathway. So my question is regarding the confusion among the students and the objection among the parents about the professional certifications, especially the global certifications. How do you see the acceptance in the employers that would hire us at the initial stages of our corporate lives?
Okay, thanks. Now, great question, and thank you very much for asking. It took me, after I did my Indian professional qualification, I did my global qualification after 15 years. So when I did my international CMA, global CMA, you will not imagine, I was 44 years of age. What I'm trying to tell you is, see, today we live in a global world, whether you agree or disagree, right? Your competition is not only this class. Your competition is all the people who are studying finance, accounting, MBA, whatever, in the world. And they are all competing with you directly or indirectly without knowing. India is the world capital of global capability centers, right? Every single GCC is coming into Pune, into Bangalore. So who are you going to work with? International player. So employers always respect a global qualification. It doesn't mean that Indian qualification is not good. But when you work with 10 people, and I'll tell you my own example. When I first went to South Africa, I used to be a finance director of a very large telecom company. And when I was sitting in the board meeting, I realized everyone is studied globally somewhere, and I'm the only guy who does not have a global qualification. So my confidence level was a little bit compromised. If they ask me something, I don't know about this. And that's where I started, that I need to have international qualification. So it's a confidence building measure. If you do an Indian qualification and if you do a global qualification, the salary with which you will start will be always different. The promotion what you will have will be always different, but very, very important, your confidence to talk in the meeting, in a board meeting, in a CFO meeting, or any meeting, that will be at a different level because you are at a level playing field because of the global and international qualification. So professional qualification will always, always help you. You want to change this?
When we talk about international courses, they think that academy is doing this marketing. Sometimes students, they think when we talk about the international courses, they think that they are doing marketing, they want to make money, and I think there are many perceptions to that. But considering what Sunil said right now, it is very important that you accompany one small international certification along with your Indian courses.
Yeah.
It's not about marketing. It's not about something which we really want to make money out of it. Well, we are into business, so definitely we are, profit oriented. But at the end, we want to generate value for you guys. And it's a correct time. He's rightly mentioned about the GCC. It's a Global Capability Center, means foreign companies opening their offices in India. And every week, one GCC is opening up, not correct. Correct. So considering this, international certification has immense value, and definitely, as Sunil just mentioned, your starting package will definitely be higher than the Indian certification, Indian degrees. I think, any more question from audience? Yes.
Yeah, sure. No.
Good morning, sir. Myself first. My question is how to manage a day properly to get a deep work of 4 to 5 hours at least. Because I found it difficult to overall manage my day to get a 4 or 5 hours of work for my studies or anything. Because I have a 8 to 6 class, and I found it very difficult because I have a bus to. It takes me 2 to 3 hours on bus, and I am very fond of reading, so I want that time too for my reading and my personal goals and my professional goals too.
So if I understood your question, there's a little bit of lag or a little bit of this thing. You are asking about how to manage your day. So one is, first you divide your objective, what you want to achieve, over a period of 6 months to 1 year. Then break it down month-wise. You always have Saturdays and Sundays. Don't forget that, right? Saturdays and Sundays are not only to watch the cricket match, but also study, right? I'm just joking. So first, make use of a full day available to you first. So you have 52 Saturdays and 52 Sundays roughly in a year. How are you going to use them? Then you plan otherwise. Now you are only left with 5 working days where you have to work for, let us say, 4 hours and you have to do other things. Then you plan your day accordingly. So what I'm trying to say is, if you want to study a particular subject, you should break down that subject into time zones. One time zone is daily I will study for 1 hour. One time zone is, let us say, on Saturday and Sunday I will study for 2 hours or 3 hours. Other time zone is during Diwali holidays and during whatever holidays, I will not go home and study or whatever it is. So you do planning like that. But very important is you have to check whether are you working according to that plan or not. Because once a backlog start creating, then it's a big problem. And it is the commitment yourself. You do plan your daily planning at the beginning of the day, and before you go to the bed in the evening, you check what has happened. It's like tallying your books of accounts, right? Every day reconciliation has to happen, and I think that will help you. It takes time. It's not easy. But always remember that you have to also plan for some exigencies and emergencies. Something else will happen in your life which you are not aware, which may take away your time. Like something fallen, let's say you fall sick, or someone in the family is fallen sick, or you have to go for some marriage or something like that. So plan those exigencies and emergencies also. Okay, thanks.
One,
Yeah, sure.
Sir, how can I manage my passion with studies? Devu has asked this question.
So I'm assuming your passion is not study.
I think you can also repeat that question. It's asked by Devu.
Yeah.
Sir, how can I manage my passion with studies?
So there is a question by Devu online. He says, "Sir, how can I manage my passion with studies?" And I am assuming his passion is not study, right? So he's not Sachin Tendulkar. Sachin Tendulkar's passion and profession was the same. So it was easy. Not Virat Kohli, same problem. But always remember that I asked someone a question. I was coaching a senior leader, and I should tell you, I asked a very senior leader of a logistic company yesterday online. I was coaching. So I asked him, what do you do for survival? So he told me the definition. He said, I am a logistician, means I am a logistics person by profession, but I am a musician by passion. This is how he answered me his introduction in 2 lines. A logistic manager or a logistics company CEO by profession, but a music person by passion. And he said, I still pursue my passion. So my answer to you, Devu, is that you have to balance your passion and your profession. But if your passion is going to give you more money than your profession, then of course you can convert your passion into profession. But always remember that your passion is your inspiration. You may get bored in your day-to-day work. You may get bored as a chief financial officer. You may get tired of doing what you are doing repetitively. Then you can go back to your passion, let's say play cricket or sing a song or do whatever is your passion that will motivate you, inspire you to do different things in a different way. So I would always say that do not kill your passion. Work simultaneously both on passion and profession. If passion earns you enough money, convert that passion into profession. If not, then stick to profession 50%, 60%, and 30-40% as a passion. Like my passion is teaching, and I get high, and I'm using the word high very carefully. I get high when I teach, and I enjoy that passion. Now, for me, of course, money has become secondary in my life now, but always remember that your passion helps you to survive. Your profession may not help you to survive always. Thank you.
we have one more question, sir.
Sir, any mistake you have made in your earlier career, you would suggest to avoid us?
Yeah, good question. Okay, so the person asked me a question. Any mistakes I have done in my earlier career, and what are those mistakes, right? So I still do the mistakes, right? I have made a lot of mistakes now also. It's not only earlier career. But just to let you, earlier in my career, I was not able to network enough people which I wanted to network. Because at some point of time, I started feeling networking is useless. Because it was taking a lot of time. I had to go on a bicycle, I had to meet someone, and then that person will not give quality time, or sometimes people will not appear for the meeting. So I started hating the networking. So that was a big mistake I have done initially in my life, which I very quickly rectified after I started living in Mumbai. Second mistake, I would also say that I didn't find a mentor at the right point of time in my life. A mentor walked into my life. I was never looking for a mentor. So it was a coincidence that someone walked into my life as a mentor, and then I realized the importance of mentoring. Whereas I'm telling you that you need a mentor. No one told me in my life that I need a mentor, right? And third mistake, which I don't call it a mistake, but I had a guilt in my mind for a very long time that I have not done an MBA. But I proved it wrong to myself after 10 years of my professional life, and I now teach in best of the best MBA schools in the world. I don't have an MBA degree, but yeah, this could be some of the mistakes, but yeah, all international certification, so I don't need MBA also. Yeah, but we can, see, issue is not whether you have made mistakes or not. Issue is how quickly you learn from those mistakes. If you read my book, I have encountered all my mistakes, and I always make this statement: your vulnerability is not your weakness. Your vulnerability is a catalyst to your strength. If you are vulnerable to something, doesn't mean there is a problem in you. I can't speak English was my vulnerability at that point of time. What has happened? I converted that vulnerability into the biggest strength in my life. So your vulnerability is not your weakness. So same, your mistakes is not your weakness, but you have to quickly learn and turn around. Thank you.
Can we take more questions?
Okay, one.
I also want to ask one.
Sir, as a student, we all know that cost of global education is very high. So, how should we evaluate whether the investment is worth it or not?
No, great question, and I respect that question because I had the same problem. When I can tell you my own story. I was doing the British CIMA, UK CIMA. I passed the intermediate examination. I left in between because I had no money. But the fees was in sterling pounds and I couldn't afford. But I'm telling you, look at the investment in the international education as an investment and not as an expense. It's like when you put a fixed deposit in a bank, or when you invest money in a mutual fund or in a stock market, you're not investing only to sell within 1 month or 2 months. You will get a return on that investment over a period of time. If you complete an international qualification, the starting salary of a Indian qualification and international qualification will be always different. You will always earn higher salary. Always remember there are scholarships, there are discounts, there are loans available in the life. Do not only assume that you have to pay always from your pocket. Ask for help, but I would say look at it as an investment. It's a return on investment for your entire life, which will help you on these education expenses. Okay.
Hello. Okay. So, sir, this question might feel yes, sir. This question might feel out of the context, but as you said, vulnerability, right? We should make our vulnerability the catalyst you are talking about, right? So I want to ask something which is, everybody faces, but no one talks about. Gen Z generation are very vulnerable. I see because of, corporate, you have more than 35 years of experience in corporate life. Because of beginning level of corporate politics, that office politics, no one talks about, right? But this is something that needs to be addressed. So I find this as a right platform. So in your early career, जैसे आप top management पे जब पहुंच जाते हो, you are not a part of it apparently, but all of us जैसे नया enter कर रहे थे, we face that, and at the early stage of our career we get disappointment, we don't get visibility, and that is something that needed to be addressed. So what's your take on?
But politics, if I understand correctly, because there was a lot of disturbance because voice frequencies were moving. So I'll tell you. You want to repeat again? Yeah. Just, you come here. Just don't talk on the microphone.
I was saying that in the earliest stage of the career, which engines are very vulnerable. That transition from a students to employee is very hard, right?
Yeah.
And this campus politics, no one talks about, but everybody gets eaten off, more or less, right? So in your earliest stage of career, because you are at the top management right now, rarely you are becoming a part of it. But early stage of the career, people, my HOD in my college said, you keep your head down, you keep your head up, don't go into gossip, you work hard, you'll get something. But this is not as easy as we think in corporate life.
Yeah.
So what was the mistakes you made in terms of corporate politics, or you learned some lesson from, and you can guide? I'm asking this question from all of us.
Yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting question, and I hope you understood the question. Corporate politics is always so politics is everywhere. Wherever there are more than two human beings, there is a politics. Yes or no, you tell me, right? But can you live without politics? Yes and no. Both options are there. In a corporate world, politics is comparatively less as compared to the government sector or real politics and all those things. But when human beings come together, there is always a ego. The biggest problem of politics is the human ego. That's number one. Number two, comparison. How I am better than him, or how I am bad than him, all those things. And third thing is, people think by doing politics, they will move one step ahead. As a young student, as a young professional getting into the corporate world, you should not get involved into politics immediately and quickly. Number one, never make a loose or weak statement in the public domain, right? Never start, what's the word? Bitching is a wrong word. I'm very sorry for using this word, but don't do that in the corporate offices and meetings. Listen carefully when someone is saying something, right? We tend to react, right? We react. Sala ye aisa kyun bol raha hai mere ko? You know, so don't react. Take a pause and think upon. Now, always remember that the politics, the person who is doing the politics and the person with whom he is doing the politics, both are equally responsible for politics. You will always think, नहीं मैंने तो कुछ किया नहीं, वो सामने वाले का प्रॉब्लम है. बट आपने एक स्टेटमेंट कर दिया जाते जाते कहीं पे और कैंटीन में बोल दिया, अरे वो ऐसा ही है, अरे उसने मेरे को ऐसा बोला, एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स. So be careful with all those things. Learn the environment, what's happening in your organization, and then decide whether you want to get into the politics or not. Other thing I always ensure, or I was telling him while coming on the staircase to Ashish, is that if you want to do the politics, always remember that if there is a conflict of your value system, you know, we have personal values and there are corporate values. And if there is a conflict happening between personal values and corporate values, do not compromise on personal values. I have given stories in my book how I have done that. And second thing is, if the work environment is toxic, you understand toxic, right? If the work environment is toxic, do not get into that company and do not do the politics, just get out of that place. Don't waste your life working in a toxic environment. I'm telling you very openly. I have wasted my life, very important 3 to 4 years, in a very toxic environment. My boss will ask me to sit every day in the office up to 12 o'clock midnight because he is sitting, I have to sit. I have done that in my life. I have suffered that very badly in my life, but I had no guts because I had a family, I had no money and all those things. But you guys are not like that. You are educated, you are smart, you are confident. Do not get carried away in a toxic work life. There is no balance. You know, we call work-life balance. In a toxic environment, there is a zero balance. Just move on. Don't waste your time. Maybe you will not have a job for 3 months or 4 months, but always look for a right environment to work. When you choose the organization or a job, wherever you go for a job, choose organizations very carefully. Because someone is paying you great salary, don't join that company. Find out, now you have resources to find out about the organization, management culture. When you go in an interview, you should ask the question to the person who is interviewing you, what is your work environment? What is your work-life balance? Who is stopping you? We always think that, mere ko to answer dene ke. No. You can ask the question in an interview. At the beginning, when the interview started, you can make it clear to the person that, sir, after you finish your question, please give me 15 minutes. I want to ask some questions to you. Clarify. Be careful in life. You get only one life. I have seen people who have gone through depression. I'm very openly telling you, because of the politics, because of the toxic environment. I have studied psychology. I helped a lot of people. I was telling him one incident recently what had happened to me. Don't waste your life in toxic environment, in political environment. Just move on. Okay? So thank you very much. Done?
So I think it was a really great session by Sunil sir. So all of you enjoyed? So what points you are carrying home today? क्या लेके जा रहे हैं घर आज? हम तो बहुत कह रहे थे यार आज कोई एक लेक्चर नहीं लेगा, सारे फैकल्टीज भी यहाँ पर बैठे हुए हैं. एंड मैं कह रहा था जैसे क्लास में भी कि आपको पढ़ाई के अलावा कुछ तो नई चीजें सीखने के लिए मिलेगी, नहीं तो वही बोर्डम वही चीज हो जाती है. आई वाज जस्ट ऑब्जर्विंग कि कितने लोग नोट्स ले रहे हैं, कितने लोग नोट डाउन करें, एंड हाउ मेनी पीपल वर एक्चुअली टेकिंग द नोट्स. वेरी रेयर. सर ने बोला कितने लोग गोल्स डिसाइड करते हैं, वेरी रेयर. पासिंग परसेंटेज इज ऑल्सो वेरी लेस. सो ये चीजें सीखने वाली है. जैसा सर ने बोला कि सी दिस इज ऑल अबाउट लीडरशिप. जितनी जल्दी आप अपनी लाइफ में इसको लेके आएंगे, है ना, जैसे आपको सुनील सर ने बताया बहुत सारी आपको इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें बताइए. यू हैव टू ब्रिंग इट एंड इनकलकेट इन योर लाइफ एंड इट विल हेल्प यू लॉट. होपफुली जिन लोगों ने ऑनलाइन देखा है उनको भी बहुत 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 मजा आया होगा. ये सेशन एनीवेज यूट्यूब पर अवेलेबल रहेगा, जब भी आपको लगे यू कैन वॉच एज मेनी टाइम्स यू वांट. एंड उसके अलावा होपफुली यू एंजॉयड द सेशन. यस और नो? मजा आया? ओके. एंड सुनील सर ने कुछ बुक्स भी लिखी हुई हैं, काफी सारी लिखी हुई हैं आई थिंक, एंड वी हैव फ्यू अवेलेबल एट द बैक साइड एज वेल एंड इन द ऑफिस एज वेल. तो जब आपको थोड़ा सा फुर्सत का टाइम मिले, जो आइडियली है ना निकालना ही चाहिए दिन के 15-20 मिनट, क्योंकि जैसे मैं आपको बहुत ऑनेस्टली बता रहा हूँ, जैसे सर कह रहे हैं कि जितना भी वो अर्न करते हैं उसका 20-30% वो अभी भी एजुकेशन के लिए डालते हैं. रोज सुबह आशीष सर 5-6 बजे उठ जाते हैं, 2 घंटे रिसर्च करते हैं और हमको भेजते हैं ये पढ़ो ये पढ़ो ये पढ़ो. अभी आशीष सर को जरूरत है क्या? एक्चुअली जरूरत नहीं, बट वो खुद सीख रहे हैं, है ना. सुनील सर खुद सीख रहे हैं, इनको ये सब महारत ही इनको जरूरत ही नहीं है, बट स्टिल दे आर डूइंग इट एट दैट एज, है ना, आफ्टर गेनिंग सो मच ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस. तो यार आपको तो करना ही चाहिए. तो पढ़ाई से मत भागो, इन सब चीजों में आगे बढ़ो. सिर्फ पढ़ाई में नहीं, बहुत सारी चीजें आपको लाइफ में हेल्प करती है. तो ये अदर चीजें भी होनी चाहिए, नहीं तो आप वो है ना पढ़ाई वाले बैक बेंचर बन के रह जाओगे. सो थैंक यू सो मच. होपफुली एंजॉयड एंड वील एंड द सेशन हियर. थैंक यू सो मच सर. थैंक्स फॉर कमिंग. यस. ऑनलाइन में जो बच्चे देख रहे हैं, आपको नीचे कुछ फॉर्म मिलेगा, लिंक मिलेगा, उसको आप प्लीज फिल कर देना. फेस टू फेस वाले जो बच्चे हैं, आपके भी ग्रुप्स पे कुछ लिंक्स आ जाएगी, उसको प्लीज कंपलसरी फिल आउट कर देना, ठीक है. और पढ़ाई के अलावा एक 20-25 मिनट इंस्टा थोड़ा कम करो, तो आपको है ना ये कुछ अच्छी अच्छी चीजों के लिए टाइम मिल जाएगा. सो विल एंड द सेशन हियर. सौरभ कुछ एड ऑन करवाना है? ऑल डन ना? यस गाइस. प्लस प्लीज आप फॉर्म बहुत अच्छे से फिल कर देंगे. क्या बोल रहे हैं? ओके, है ना. आपको फॉर्म में क्वेश्चंस मिलेंगे वगैरह वगैरह, उसको प्लीज आप फिल आउट कर दीजिए. यस अर्पिता होगा, आईडीटी का क्लास होगा बेटा. चलो भाई, थैंक यू सो मच.